The state rep in Idaho just said this.
You mentioned the risk of colonoscopy. Can that be done by drugs?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Barbieri, it can not be done by drugs. It can, however, be done remotely, where you swallow a pill, and this pill has a little camera, and it makes its way through your intestines, and those images are uploaded to a doctor who's often thousands of miles away, who then interprets that.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman. Barbieri. Can this same procedure then be done in a pregnancy? Swallowing a camera and helping the doctor determine what the situation is with the...
Mr. Chairman and Representative, it cannot be done in pregnancy simply because when you swallow a pill, it would not end up in the vagina.
Oh, I see. So a woman's mouth does not lead to her vagina. There's not a direct... Oh, I see. Very interesting. Follow-up question. So do all women have vaginas? A follow-up question. Why don't women like me? Follow-up question. Is it okay if I make laws for them anyway? This clip of anti-abortion state representative in Idaho, Vito Barbieri, obviously a Republican, asking maybe the world's most asinine question, has just resurfaced following the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade and federal protections for abortion. He asked this at a hearing to ban abortion pills being sent via telemedicine. And look, the guy's an expert on abortion procedures. He said during the hearing, quote, I just want to point out that I think from my perspective, telemedicine has great advantages. It's important to recognize cost savings, ease of use, accessibility. However, there are certain examinations and procedures which require personal hands-on exams. And I do think this is one of them. Do ya? Do you think that, Barbieri? Man who has never had a woman let him touch her, so he wants to legislate it? Abortions need a personal, hands-on exam when they actually don't at all? Gross, dude. There's nothing that needs to be looked at or touched. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. There's no need for, let me take a look inside and see how pregnant you really are. If you're pregnant, you can take a pill and it ends it. PlanCpills.org. And abortion pills are very safe. What's that? Repeat it? Repeat PlanCpills.org you want me to do? Oh, sure, I just did. This dude thinks a woman's mouth leads to her vagina. Hilariously stupid. But why does this matter? It's just a one-off dumb question, right? Well, it's not. Because this absurdly entitled attitude of people who know nothing about women, making laws for women, and demonizing Planned Parenthood has consequences. This clip happened in 2015, and later that year there was a horrible shooting in Idaho at a Planned Parenthood, leaving 3 dead and 9 wounded. People killed by a gunman because he was so pro-life. But even that wasn't a wake-up call moment to kick idiots like Barbieri out of office. He was re-elected. Oh, I'm sure it was just a dumb moment, though, and after the shooting, he learned his lesson and became an advocate for women's reproductive rights. What? That's not at all true? In 2020, he said the following.
I don't know why, to quote someone down there, I don't know why Planned Parenthood hasn't been nuked off of State Street.
Oh, I get it now. He's a monster. Well, at least he's the only one, right? What? He's not?
My body, my choice. The baby is not the body of the woman that it's inside of. Abortion care? Who's being taken care of there?
Well, are you familiar with premature babies, preemies?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
If a child is halfway delivered out of the birth canal, would you support the right for an abortion then? What do you say a woman is?
I believe that everyone can identify for themselves.
Do you believe then that men can become pregnant and have abortions?
Birth control, it's actually a consequence of the lack of birth control. Planned Parenthood, it's the lack of planning.
Almost all Republicans? You see, if you're upset that Roe was overturned, you only have Republicans to blame. 80% of Democrats and 62% of independents wanted Roe to stay law of the land, but only 31% of Republicans did. According to a June 2022 Gallup article, only 3 in 10 Republicans support a woman's right to control her own body and her own future. This is today. I'm not talking about like in the time of the Salem witch trials. I'm saying modern life. Republicans are always making laws against things they just personally aren't comfortable with. But that's just not okay to do. Since you Republicans claim you love freedom so much, here's a fun fact. Freedom means when people are free. I'm kind of surprised you didn't know that. That's weird. You want me to get you some paint remover so you can rub it off the side of your truck? You can't make laws just because you personally don't like stuff. I don't like when people grow twisty handlebar mustaches if they're not starring in a Western, but I don't try to ban it. I don't like when old white men with the general sex appeal of a crumpled potato make this country worse constantly, but I don't fight to deport them. That's not a bad idea, actually. They agree with it. They're not in favor of protecting species on the brink of extinction. And so it looks like 130-year-old turtle Mitch McConnell has lost his protected status. Let's do it. Let's deport the Republicans. But why does this whole thing matter? That this idiot in Idaho, ooh, I like that alliteration, idiot in Idaho, said something stupid back in 2015, other than it's just fun to mock an idiot, which it is, of course. It's because words have consequences, and elections have consequences. And so he stayed in power, pushed for his repressive garbage, and so Idaho, of course, became one of the 26 states pushing to outlaw abortion after the Roe reversal. And Idaho is also one of the 13 states, actually, with trigger laws that do so automatically. So what's the penalty going to be for an abortion now in Idaho? A law passed, pardon thanks to a man who doesn't know what the female body is. Anyone who provides or attempts to provide an abortion will be charged with a felony punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison. Any healthcare professional who performs or attempts to perform an abortion will have their license suspended for at least 6 months after a first offense and permanently revoked after a second offense. Cause and effect. That's why it matters. And as to Barbieri specifically, he's up for re-election yet again in December. Don't vote him in this time, because if he wins, well, that would be a tough pill to swallow. A pill that will not make its way to anyone's vagina. For Rebel HQ, I'm Ben Gleib. You can become one of the mad ones by joining my Patreon, patreon.com/Ben Gleib. Follow me on literally all socials at Ben Gleib, and my second hour stand-up special drops on YouTube next month. So check it out. I mean, if only if you want to.